Okay, hello, good morning, LinkedIn community. This is our first video of our Business Booster series. We're doing a number of series. I think we've got about 10 videos lined up. This morning, I am with Reem from Reem Web Design, and we're just going to discuss, see more about Reem, see about more what she does, learn more about her business, and then hopefully we can get some more people to um, talk with her and do some business with her. So, Reem, let's know more about you. Let's go to you. How are you?
I'm fine, Dwight. How are you?
Good, thank you. Where are you based?
In Southwest London.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so we want to talk about your business, Reem Web Design. How long have you had that going? Describe your
Since,
business.
yeah, I set it up in 2014, and that's where I
Okay.
started, taking on work.
Okay. Could you give us a bit of an overview of what you do and your products and your services or your packages and services? Let us know a little bit more about that.
Well, yeah, that's it's always changing, but I mean, the base of it, the foundation is really web design and web redesign because I specialize in the strategy behind building a website and not just the way it looks, because as we all know, it's just not enough for it to look good. It's not going to perform, and it's not going to be the marketing tool that you actually need your website to be. But now, in order to help more of my clients, I'm trying to offer a more rounded sort of service as well, because without proper content, it's not going to perform either. So web design is almost like a piece of a cog within a bigger machinery in that big marketing thing, and I'm just web design is just a small piece of it. So I'm looking into more copywriting and getting other people involved in that as well, so we can offer a more comprehensive service.
Awesome. How long have you been doing your business? You said 2014. Is that when
Yeah,
you started? Is that
this is exactly it. This is when I actually started in 2014, but I've been doing websites and I've been in the digital world forever. I used to work in post-production houses doing 2D and 3D animation. But of course, as the internet started, I was there as well. So hand coding the HTML website when they were. And then I did a brief stunt as my own business, really business, selling jewelry, designing and selling jewelry. So I really understand those two hats in a way, the hats of a business owner that needs to run a business, and then the support of this amazing marketing tool that is web design.
awesome? Awesome. What is your unique selling point? What would you say your unique selling point is?
It's really the strategy behind a website, and I think I see a lot of clients coming either starting a business or they're looking to redesign and not understanding why their website is not performing. And then when you do an audit, you realize, well, yeah, it makes sense because there's no strategy behind it. There's no plan, and they haven't thought about their target market, their customer experience, the journey that their customer needs to take in order to buy from them. So this is where I don't do any design, and I will not take a client if they're not prepared to go and dig deep into that. And there are lots of other places where you plug whatever it is in and you get whatever it is out, and that's fine. But that's not how I want to do things. It's just to build it right and build it properly.
Brilliant. Good. So, what is your strategy? What would your strategy be to use to plan and to launch your business? What strategy did you take?
Well, it went because I had my own business with the jewelry design, and I understood all the issues in a way, and how a small business owner needs to kind of stretch themselves in a million directions to try to get that business off the ground. And I saw that sometimes web designers, either they just take whatever they're given and just plug it in and give it back to the business
Yeah.
owner, and it was never going to work, and it's never going to take, it's just money that you throw out of the window. And people just don't have, sometimes when you're in something, you're so deep in it that you don't see the whole. So I took a course with Google for 6 months in digital marketing to really understand the process behind it. Although I do have a marketing degree from uni, marketing and advertising degree from uni. So that kind of comes together, hopefully, and really set someone up for success from the get-go. So that's what it is. And you know what? I had to work on it on myself because, like I said, when you're in it, you don't necessarily see it. So anyone can have a website, right? Any person can have a website, but I had to kind of say, no, I don't want to build it to anyone. I want to build it to the service industry. I want to build it to small, medium-sized company because they're more flexible, they're more adaptable to changing things and trying out things. But yeah, it takes time to develop that strategy and to really understand who you are and what you want. And these are the questions that I bring to a client, and we work through it until we find something that really works.
Awesome. What is your business goals? What is your aim in running your business? Where do you want to see yourself?
That was also a great question. And that was a big decision that I had to make recently, is knowing, do I want to really grow the business where I'm just sort of client facing and I have other people building the websites for me? Or do I want to keep it small? I want to keep it hands-on. I want to keep that relationship that when you're talking to a client, you're really understanding the passion behind it, the story, because there is a story. And then kind of translating this into a website. And I thought, no, this is my sweet spot. And I want to keep doing this, even if that means only 3-4 clients a month. And that's fine, because what they get me. And that's it. So there isn't a big room for growth, I think, but it's the quality and that very special bond that I will create, that I do create with clients. So almost like they're in-house person.
Can you share with us some of your marketing strategies and your target audience? So how do you market yourself? How do you market your business? And what type of people are you targeting?
Well, the way I market so far, and I found that really worked for me, that is working for me, is networking. Because of the way I approach, the way I build my websites, it needs to be human centric. It needs to be about that connection with the person. I need to connect with them, and they need to connect with me. And I found, for me, it only works on networking, whether online or face to face, it doesn't really matter. But that really works, rather than Facebook ads or Google ads. That is, I'm not feeling that the personal touch that comes with networking. And in terms of what I need to do as a step 2 is, and I always say that to my clients, and of course, do what I say, don't do as I do, is I need to do more case studies on my website and publish those. But there's so many hours in the day, but that is definitely on my to-do list, quite up there. Start to write case studies so everyone can learn from other people, where we were and how we got to where we got. And I think that's great. Even things that didn't work also can be very as important as things that did work. So I would like to do that.
Good. Question is, what challenge do you face when you were starting up your business? What were your biggest challenges that you had to overcome?
Oh, there's so many. There's just so many. Is first of all understanding my value and what I bring to the table, because at the end of the day, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not the only web designer in the world. There's just so many of us. So stepping back and really understanding my value and kind of sticking to it, saying, you know what, this is who I am, and that's what I want to do, and which is a luxury in a way, but it was really hard to get to. And I faced a lot of panic moments where I was ready to take something that I wasn't convinced with and ended up not working out anyways. But trusting my guts, sticking to my guns, understanding my value, walking away from something that would not really value what I would bring into the table. So I think that's it. And it's so hard when you're starting and when you're going hand to mouth and when you're trying to build something and when it's not easy. And then of course you're being pulled in so many different directions because someone's telling you, oh, you know what, I did this and it's working amazing. And of course you jump into it thinking, well, if it worked for them, it's going to work for me. Of course it's not going to work because there's no strategy behind it. So it was just taking a break, a step back, realign, and just kind of stick to your guns.
Okay. So look, we could move on to talking about how your operations run and what you do. So how do you organize and manage your day-to-day operations to be able to do what you need to do?
Also, great question. And I think that comes with growth because I started with Post-it notes, which I still have a hard time letting go of, and just writing things on pieces of papers and relying on my memory, and which is great when you're starting out and it's perfectly fine. But if you don't have a process in place and you want to grow, it's just not going to work. So very recently, less than a year ago, I invested in ClickUp, which is just a project management tool. There are just so many other ones, but I stopped running after the next shiny object thinking, oh, I'll try this one and I'll try that one and maybe I'll try this one. And I stopped. I said, I'm just going to pick one and get a process in place. What happens when this happened? When I talk to a client, put it in there, put notes, and really get myself organized, which as a creative is not always in my kind of DNA. But I think my business did turn a corner when I started putting all of these processes. It's still not second nature to me. And I have to sometimes remember to take a day to work in my business and putting all these things and, getting all the paperwork and all the things that I don't like doing, but that are so important because you can lose so much time trying to find and then miss opportunities. Because I forgot to email my client that I've sent a proposal to 2 weeks ago, but then you've missed it. So if you don't have processes in place.
Absolutely. You need processes. You do. It's so very, very important. So do you work by yourself or do you have a little team around you? And what type of role do they play?
I mean, I don't have a team in terms of team, but I do have an amazing support system. I've got, people that believe in me, people that I work with, especially I've got, an amazing copywriter, and we're just like, peanut butter and jelly. I've got the person who did my processes, I had to rely on them to kind of put everything in place for me. And I know that if I need to grow, whenever I need to grow, I can go back to them. So although they're not in my team as a day-to-day thing, they are there when I need them. So it kind of, there's a net for people,
Awesome.
And that's
and
important.
you need that. You do need that, especially as a small business owner. Running by yourself, working on your own can be a challenge. It can be.
Yeah, networking is amazing for that as well, because we get together and sometimes, we complain about things and you find out that actually the things that you're complaining about on your own in your studio, other people are feeling it too. So yeah, it takes that thing going, oh my God, I'm not the only one going through it. We're all kind of going through it. And that gives me a push saying, okay, it's not me, it's everyone.
Yeah, brilliant. So when you're tasked to build the websites and your processes and what type of software are you using? Do you have a selection of them or?
Yeah, again, it's a strategy approach. So my favorite, and then the one that I would normally turn to is WordPress. I love WordPress. It's open source. I like when you own the space that you're putting all your business in. But if the business is not ready for the commitment that WordPress needs, then there are other, like Squarespace, where it's kind of, if you're starting out, you're not sure where you're going to go, you're not sure of your vision, you're not sure, maybe it's okay to kind of dip your toes in the market and see how that would look like. So again, it's all about the conversation that I will have with the client, see what's best for them with their business objectives and their time and their commitment, and then suggest best course of action.
Okay, that's brilliant. I just wanted to point out, if anybody is watching this or anybody sees this video later, if you want to contact Reem about her services and her business, all her details are streaming at the bottom of this video. So note those down if you really want to contact Reem. So we've spoken about marketing strategies, but to reach out to customers, so we're looking at how do you reach out to your customers and how do you retain them? What do you do? What's your strategy in retaining your customers?
Well, the people that I build websites for, I do their maintenance. A lot of times they just don't want to have to worry about it. So I take care of their websites in the background and they do their thing. Some clients, they don't want to even, have to worry about putting the blogs, publishing the blogs, although I set up in such a way that all you have to do is just basically almost like a word editor and would all look fine, but they don't want to deal with that. And that's something that I offer. One thing I just have a certification in, I'm starting to really get passionate about, is website accessibility. This is something, unfortunately, and I'm just really ashamed to say it, that I never really thought about it before. Having those conversations about how accessible is a website. I would just design it the way, it would flow and not think about these things. So now that I have a certification, I can go back and say, well, how about we now make a website more accessible, and how can we tweak it to make sure that everyone can enjoy it the same way? So I keep learning new things and trying them on my clients, and they love it because it's just, they always gain from it.
Okay, so sorry, my phone was ringing. How do you maintain a strong online and offline presence? I know you mentioned networking earlier, but how would you maintain that strong presence online and offline?
Well, I mean, again, it is the relationship I have with clients. We have a very good communication, and expectation as well is very important. So make sure that they know what to expect, and I know what to expect from them. So in terms of communication, it's super, super clear. And then, I mean, offline is I'm trying to get my LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place to build a network of people that can, and then collaboration is amazing, because I'm not an SEO specialist, and I can't, it's as it's a beast all by itself that needs someone. So collaborations, which is essential, really essential.
So I'm going to be rude. I've got someone at the door. I'm just going to give them something before, and I'll be back 2 seconds. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry about that. I just had a customer show up at the door unexpectedly, so I do apologize for that long delay. It's I know that's not always ideal, especially when you're doing this type of thing. So we're share a memorable customer feedback or success story. Tell us your most memorable, something that really was like wow for you.
Well, yeah, it's a referral sort of twice removed almost, which was amazing. And she at that time was living in Japan. So I built a website for her.
Hmm.
She was more into B2B service oriented, and she was really happy with it. And then she reached out a year ago, and she's changing all of her offering and doing B2B and B2C. And she's come back to me to redesign and rework. And now she is looking to set up a sort of an e-commerce type of website, and she's taking a bigger company, so she's doing it as a partnership, but she's still insisting on bringing me as her designer within that merger in a way. So I
Oh,
thought
nice. No, awesome.
that's amazing, right? I mean,
Yeah, brilliant.
it's such high praise, where you kind of, she feels like it's exactly what I want people to think. I'm sort of their in-house designer type of person. So
Brilliant. No,
as you see there, I was really, really happy.
very good. That is very good. Very encouraging. So, what advice would you give anyone who's trying to start a business, whether that's a web design business or any type of online business or offline business?
Honestly, you know what? I mean, way back when, I mean, even today, if you had to open a store, right, you needed some sort of funds to do it. So you'd go to the bank
Yeah,
and to get a loan, and the first thing the bank will do is ask you for a business plan, right?
yeah, yeah.
In today's world, especially when we're talking about online business, you don't really need a huge investment. You can kind of, get away with very little and building it up that way. So what we lost by not going to the bank and asking for a loan is doing that business plan,
Hmm.
that viability study as to what makes our goods and services, the uniqueness of our goods and services, who are the competition, all of these things that we used to have to do in order to get the money from the bank, we don't really do anymore. But that has a price on our business, which means that
Hmm.
we're kind of sometimes flying blind, flying on instinct. I mean, I was just having a conversation the other day with this guy at the market, my local market, who sells
Yeah.
amazing breads. They're homemade breads and they're amazing. And he was
Hmm.
saying, you know what? I want to open a store and I'm thinking of opening it on my street. And I was telling him, do you know that on my street there's already 2 bakeries?
Hmm.
Why would you want to open a third? Ah, yeah, but my bread's better. I'm like, I'm sure it's true. And I'm sure he does believe it. But sometimes you have to take that sort of instinct and do your study and do your feasibility study and look at, because that, if he does, that might be a very expensive mistake.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
take a step back. Passion's great. Take a step back, do your due diligence, look into that, and then go for it, because at least you're going in there with a clear vision, and you know where you're going. It's not flying blind and hopefully you'll get to your destination, because what are the odds of that happening in today's world, really?
Absolutely. No, very good. Very good advice. And absolutely right. People, even if you're going to do an online business, you're going to do something. Make sure that you make sure there's a gap in the market. Make sure you know the type of people you're looking for, your target audiences, your demographics, your location. These things are really important. So, yeah, absolutely, fully agree with you there. You don't want to be throwing a whole lot of time and effort into something, and then it's just wrong.
And it could be just the angle that you need to, you find your own little angle, and that might be just all that you need, just that little angle. I met someone a year ago who was selling socks, And I was like, okay, so who's your target market? He says, anyone with feet. Yeah, sure. But that's not going to work. You know, you need to sit there and think about what makes your socks. And there is something very special about what he did. And he did work on that. And he's now really understanding that. And it's working for him because he found his angle. He found his foot through
Yeah.
the door. But it's not anyone with feet, because that would not work anymore. Not in today's, competitive market. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, yeah. So, what's your future plan for your business? What is and what where do you hope to see yourself?
Well, I mean, for me, I still have scope for more clients, I think. So I can only, serve 4 per month.
Hmm.
I'm not there yet. So I
Hmm.
would like to, grow that side of the business. And I'm always I always need to find time for learning and getting. So I'm joining a boot camp in January, um, just about user experience, just mapping up the user experience, the
Yeah,
journey that they take, and understanding exactly what that looks like. So it's two things. It's keep learning, because in our environment it just keeps changing. There's always something new that's coming up. Always, so you need to be on top of things.
yeah,
And I want to specialize more and more and more, and really, find find the fine line between the best marketing strategy and the best design to put that marketing tool to
yeah.
work as best it can.
Okay. Have there been times when you've had to change your strategy? So you've been going along a certain course and you realize I need to alter my course a little bit, or change the strategy that you're.
Well, yes, but that's at the beginning where I can build websites for anyone.
Hmm.
But now I don't want to build websites to anyone. I mean, other than my client for the e-commerce, just because I have a very special relationship with her, I'm not sure I want to do e-commerce website, because unless I take care of the strategy part of the website, and then putting the products and all these variations maybe to somebody else to do. But that's, I think, where my passion is finding the stories, getting those stories to light. So it took time to decide that, what, this is where I'm going to go, because you feel like you're going to be missing out on a whole bunch of other stuff. If you turn left, maybe you're missing out on what's happening on the right hand side of things. So
Hmm.
but once I made that decision, and once I've made that decision to basically that it's going to be only me, and I've
Hmm.
rebranded my, and someone said, why didn't you, call it something else, like, pink pineapple or something? I said, because then of course you can always sell your business, you know. And I said,
Hmm.
no, it's always going to be a Reem. And that's the decision that I made. It's just going to be, you're going to be working with me, and we're going to
Hmm.
have a conversation, and we're going to have, we're going to dig, and we're going to cry, we're going to laugh, but we're going to get there. And that's what I like doing. So
Good.
once I made those decisions, I think, but it was so scary to make those decisions. Really, really, really scary. And you should allow yourself to feel scared, because it's a, it's a fork in the road, and you have to choose which way you want to go. But you have to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, serve everything and do everything and still be memorable and unique. It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. And the thing is, you end up burning yourself out if you're trying to do everything for everybody. You just, like you said, you're not going to end up really doing a proper job. You're going to end up um, doing hash jobs all over the place, and you're just going to burn yourself out. So having a focus, having a niche, and staying focused on that niche is so vital in this
And I
world.
think the
Especially,
conversation, yes.
carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say then the conversation that you have with people are more focused, and it would resonate much more than generalizing and just keeping it very, superficial. And at the end of the day, I think it's, for me, the conversations that I have with clients, usually we're on the same wavelength from the start because they know what I'm about. So when they do come to me, they know what to expect. And we can then move past the surface things and go deeper right away.
Good. And finally, as we come to the end of this, do you have any final words of wisdom or advice that you would put out there if somebody was coming to you?
Well, again, the first thing that I would say is that have an open mind, because things that you thought about your business may not be what. So be open to surprises. Be open to be surprised about, well, yeah, maybe this is not the right way of seeing it. Maybe that is the better way, and just embrace that and not be kind of like, no, this is, unless you're very clear on that objective, which is great. Otherwise, be open and be flexible. And I think as small and medium-sized businesses, we are anyways. But sometimes you're so entrenched in your little, we all are, and having someone seeing things from a different perspective can be just what we need to kind of say, oh my God, I never realized it, that there's this possibility, or I never thought that there's going to be, I always thought blogging, that had to blog, until someone said, but wait a minute, forget about blogging. How about your case studies? Because they're just, and it's just like, oh, yeah, I get that. Blog doesn't really say much to me, but case studies, of course, because I'm providing value to other people, and I'm showing them how we went from one place to, and it took someone to come and just suggest that to me. I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? So have conversations. There are just so many amazing groups out there for entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs, that is just full of amazing advice. And it's so, find your tribe. That's it. Find your tribe. Whatever that may look like to you, it's so important.
And how if people wanted to get hold of you, how do they get hold of you? I mean, we got the thing.
Very easy. I mean, my name is already not, a little bit unusual. So LinkedIn is a great one. I love connecting with people on LinkedIn, and, get on my website, send me an email. It's very easy. I'm in the digital space, so find me easily.
And at the bottom of this website, if anybody is watching this video, we do have a few people on LinkedIn watching at the moment. All Reem's contact details are at the bottom of this email. Thank you very much, Reem, for your time. Thank you for sharing you, because that's what we want to try and do with these videos, is to share the person behind the website, behind the business, behind the name, so that we can get to know Reem a little bit better, rather than just seeing the website. I mean, and your website's amazing, I must say. It is absolutely, the design is absolutely amazing. So anybody who does have the time, go have a look at Reem's website. It's absolutely well designed. And thank you very much for sharing some of you and some of your thoughts.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor.
Good. No, it's been good to have you. So anyway, that is us. That's Dwight Mitchell from Imagine Digital Design. There's going to be at least 15 more of these videos coming onto LinkedIn. So keep an eye on LinkedIn to hear more about various different other businesses. This is Dwight Mitchell from Imagine Digital Design saying thank you and have a good day. Goodbye. Okay, so